Okay, so the first tents we really had a part in designing, and I worked with a fella called Peter McGuinness out of Newcastle in those days, and it was a really good relationship. And we developed a range of tents, and we put our own names on our own version of them. And we had a four-man tent, an A-frame four-man tent called the Alice. It was one of the first tents around with the first version of the Ventraflow, if you like, underneath it. And there were a variety of those, but mainly we called them after the islands. So we had a Stratty, which was a four-man cabin sloping wall tent, and there was a Morton, which was a 12 by 9, and a Fraser, a 1512. I just can't remember the straight wall tents. There were a couple of others, but they were called after the islands, Australian islands, or and then as the tents developed, we got onto the Western Rivers, the Cooper, and I worked out of Charleville in my young days, and so hence the Cooper for Cooper's Creek, and Tanbar for what was Tanbar Station, so which was sort of part of my roundabout sort of route. And so that was, that was fun. The Alice was an interesting little tent. It was as I say, a four-man cabin, a 9 by 7 feet. And one of the guys we sold to actually took them up into Siberia in the winter, and he said it was so cold you could put a guy rope straight into the snow and it would stand like that. But the beautiful thing about it was that it's interesting that they went out of fashion, because they were the quickest tent to put up. You just climbed inside the thing and you pegged it out, and you climbed inside and pushed the back pole up, and then you could actually do it without getting inside the tent. You pull the back of the tent forward, put the pole in, and put it up, and then put the pole in the front. So it was a brilliant little tent, and it was the first tent really made out of 100% polyester into Australia. And the big trick with that was, in those days, the dyeing process was a hot dye and high pressure, and it used to destroy a lot of fabrics. And eventually they came up with techniques to do this hot dyeing, and then everything developed from there, of course, and now polyester tents are everywhere, of course. Yeah. So we like to, got a bit of attachment to the country we came from, I guess, and we like to just have tents that are a memory of some place we've been. Yeah.